Let's see if a sling designed for concealed carry will work as the perfect sling. What's going on, everybody? This is Lamar with MFN Research, and today we are looking at the LVC 8 by 5.11 Tactical. I'm gonna warn you, I'm probably gonna mess up the name. I've been saying LCV, but it's LVC. So when I bought this bag, it was called the LV8, but when I was looking online for more information, it's now the LVC8. The only thing I can really tell that's different between the two, other than the name, is it looks like a couple different colors, and the piping in the concealed carry padded pocket is a little different. The LVC stands for low-vis collection. This is designed to give you that same tactical capability of a 5.11 bag, but give you the look and feel of a more traditional sling. So if you've ever heard of the term gray man, this is something along those lines to kind of blend in with your surroundings and not stand out and be too tactical looking. And this is the middle of the LVC sling lineup with the smaller 3-liter LVC 6 and the larger 13-liter LVC 10. There are also some backpacks and other bags, so you can take a look if you want to get more out of the collection if you're interested. And this bag is the bag that is going to serve as the first official bag in the Perfect Sling series. This is the bag that also gets a special distinction because it's the one that made me think of coming up with this series. So if you haven't seen the first video, the test video on the Waterfield Designs hip sling, what we're going to do is look at this sling and rate it on a series of factors and see how it stacks up. So this is going to be the one that starts, and we're going to set the bar with this one. So let's see how we do. So let's start off with the material. It's an 840D nylon. It comes in black, iron gray, and tundra. In my bag, the main compartment is green and the CCW compartment is black. The only real difference I can see in the colors is that the new version has green piping on the CCW compartment. There's also Duraflex hardware throughout the bag. There are YKK zippers, and there's a mix of plastic and paracord zipper pulls. Overall, the score for this one is going to be a 7. It doesn't do anything bad, it's just not amazing. The hardware is good, the material is good, the zipper pulls will do the job. I wish they would have used the plastic zipper pulls throughout, but I do kind of get making them different so you can tell easily between the two. I think it does the job, and you won't have any issues with durability for years to come. So now, organization and ease of access. This one's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I love the hook and loop sections in the main compartment and the CCW pocket. It gives you the opportunity to really customize the loadout to your needs. On the front, there's a quick access compartment with no internal organization. And at the top on the front, there's also a fleece line pocket that's designed for sunglasses and other devices. Inside, there's a mesh pocket at the top. There's also a pocket designed to fit your tablet. I think it's really designed more for an iPad mini, but I was able to fit my iPad 11 Pro, the M2 version, in there, and we'll show that a little later. The loop section in the main compartment also has laser cut MOLLE, so you can decide if you either want to use hook and loop or MOLLE attachments to help organize with some patches and things like that. Other than these, there are 6 slip pockets that differ in size slightly. Some more designed for pens, others will fit your wallet. And on the bottom, there are 2 straps that are designed to hold a water bottle, a jacket, a tripod, anything like that that you can fold into like a tube shape. So before I talk about the ease of access, I'm going to give my score. And for this organization and ease of access, I'm going to give this bag the score of a 6. I think the potential for the organization in this bag is great, and it really saves the bag to me from making the score a little bit lower. Where this bag kind of fails to me is ease of access. The front fleece line pocket is designed for, say, devices, or what I use it for more often than not is sunglasses. It would fit my phone, but you have to kind of snake it in there to get it in there. And when you're going in and out using your phone, you want more quick access than that. I don't want to fight trying to get my phone in and out. So we'll show you in the loadout where I ended up deciding to put it instead. I do think the CCW compartment is a strength for this bag. It's something that if you're looking for a CCW sling, I think this would be a good one to consider for that. It is, so far out of the slings that I've covered, the best execution of a CCW compartment that I've seen. Now, the main compartment is where I consider the weakness of the bag. First, I wish the zippers would let it open a little wider. Once you pack it out, it gets a little difficult to use and get inside, and I always felt myself trying to zip the zipper further down when I was using it. And while it is a contrast interior, I did find that because of the shape, it didn't allow enough light in. Plus, the way the bag is set up, you're gonna have to make a decision on what parts of the internal organization you're gonna use. Because I opted to use the MOLLE side, you can't use the slip pocket side. It almost becomes useless. For the most part, I didn't really even use them. So if you're thinking about getting this bag and you wanna use some of your MOLLE pouches or your hook and loop pouches or anything like that, just know that they're gonna take up the bulk of the interior of the bag. So looking at the comfort, one thing about this bag is there is a ton of padding. The padding on the strap is wide and very thick, especially for this size of bag. The back panel also has a good layer of padding as well, both against your body, and the CCW compartment is padded as well. So one thing you won't have to worry about is whatever you put in this bag, you'll never feel it pressing against you as you're moving and you're out and about with this guy. I'll talk about the comfort and what I think about the strap a little bit more in the strap section, but I will say it was comfortable for what it is. The grab handles, they're comfortable, and I didn't notice any hot spots. I didn't use the side ones too much, but they're the same build as the top grab handle, so I'd imagine it's gonna perform about the same. Overall, my score in comfort is also going to be a 6. While on paper, when you look at the features, it seems to have all the right features in place to be a very comfortable sling. I think what really happens is the execution of that when you're using it long term. Most of this score relates to the back pad, since we're going to talk about the strap a little bit later. Honestly, I really want to say that I think the amount of padding is a bit excessive. One thing I noticed is that when you pack this guy out, because of the way the padding sits and a couple other features we'll talk about later, I feel like it really protrudes out and it sticks out a little bit further than normal bags about this same size as far as liters go. I feel like it never really contours to your body. I feel like it just more sits on your back, and that doesn't make it really comfortable long term. And where you really notice that size is when you try to sling it around and wear it across the front as more of a chest bag or to get that front access. It is not designed for that, and it is not comfortable. It just kind of sits there and it just feels really bulky. What you're going to end up doing is slinging it around the front, do what you need to do, and move it right back to the back. I can't see anybody using this as a chest pack at any point in time. I'm not going to be too harsh on it, since I think it's more designed to be worn on your back than it is across your chest. And one thing I will say, because of that padding, it's not as comfortable as I thought it was going to be when I first put it on. I thought it was going to be super comfortable, but it does, once it gets packed out, not be as comfortable as you think it's going to be. It just came across too rigid. So now let's talk about design and style. This sling is designed to be a little more low profile and less tactical looking than slings in, say, the Rush line of bags from 5.11. My brother calls the look the tactical Timmy look. He's retired Army, so I guess that's okay. Additionally, it's designed to conceal a pew-pew, so that's what I think the primary function of this bag is. Overall, as far as design, I'm gonna give it a 6. In this case, I feel like you have to design it against what's intended to be used for. Does it blend in? Technically, it is lower profile, especially in a solid color. It's one of those things that if you know what you're looking for, you're gonna know that it's a tactical bag right off. Here's an example of what I mean. I've got a neighbor on his pickup truck, he's got a SIG sticker on the back. If you don't know what that is, it won't mean anything to you. But if you know what it is, you know he's probably carrying, and you probably know what he's carrying. In the same way, if you're familiar with some of the more tactical features, instantly you're gonna know this is a more tactical sling than some of the other stuff that's out there. Here's an example. Look at the LVC 8, and I'm gonna hold it next to this alpaca sling. Different capacity, sure, but I'm sure you can tell me in 10 seconds or less which one is the more tactical sling. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're looking for. I wouldn't mind it to be a little more subtle. It's definitely not winning any fashion contest going forward. So now let's talk about versatility. When I look at the versatility, I look at what this bag does, what it's designed to do, and what else it can do. To me, this bag is designed as a sling that can hold your CCW as well as hold your EDC stuff. And I think it does that well. Now, as far as versatility goes, I think any other areas is where it's a little bit limited. So when it's crowded, I like to wear my sling as a chest pack, and the way the sling is designed, the way the bag sits out, it's not really designed for that. I don't really think it's designed as a real sturdy tech bag as well, and I don't think I'd really want to use it as a travel sling. One of the other things I like to do with my slings, especially the ones that I'm traveling with, is take the straps off, stuff it in a backpack, and use it as kind of my on-plane bag. I don't think I'd really want to do that for this. The only reason I would travel with this particular bag is if I plan to off-body carry at my destination. Overall, I'm gonna give this bag a 5 in terms of versatility. I think if you're looking for a CCW sling, I think this is a good choice. But if you want something a little bit more, it's gonna leave a little bit to be desired. So as far as size goes, it's 8.5 by 14 by 4. It has a volume of 8 liters and it weighs 2.65. Overall, the size for me is a 5. It wears bigger than I think it should. I think it weighing 2.6 pounds, it's a big guy, especially knowing that this weighs more than some of the backpacks I own. At that weight, I can't imagine what the 13-liter sling weighs. And once you add your EDC, your pew-pew, or extra magazine, you're looking at a really heavy sling. I'm sure the heft is from the padding to ensure that it's a little more comfortable when you load it out, but even still, it's still heavy. Everybody, after I finished recording the video, I checked to see what the weight on the 13-liter is, and looking at it, it comes in at 2.1 liters. So I don't know if it's a typo or if they just made a mistake or whatever the case is. It shows that the 8-liter weighs more than the 13-liter. I was curious, I decided to look at the backpack. They have the LVC 18, it's a 30-liter, and it comes in at 2.76 pounds. So for 30 liters, it's only a little bit heavier than this 8-liter sling. So that's, I don't know if it's a typo or what, but that's something I'd be concerned about. Because of all that discrepancy, I decided to break out the luggage scale and try to weigh it myself. I got 1.8 pounds, so I'm not really sure. I'm not changing my score. It's still gonna stay a 5 because that's what's on the website. So we're gonna go on to the next section. Availability, this one I'm gonna have to give it a 10. This is one of the few bags that I've actually been able to purchase in the store. If you're in the United States, there's 5.11 stores all over the place. So you can go pick it up if you want to. You can order it, have it delivered to the store, pick it up from the store if you want to, or you can have it delivered. I think it's $99 and above, it's free shipping. So I had no problems getting to this bag. So let's talk about the strap. Let's see if the strap meets my features for a sling. First, as far as comfort goes, it is comfortable as long as you wear it in the way it's designed to be worn. Once you sling it across your chest, you're going to notice that the webbing is going to sit across your shoulder, and as you wear the bag, it's going to be a little heavy for you. I really like the cam buckle. It's very easy to adjust the strap. It's very easy to remove the bag from off your body. It's also very easy because of the Duraflex buckles to take the strap off completely. So as far as it being removable and easy to adjust, it definitely hits the mark on those two functions as well. So it also has a stabilizer strap. I think it's right here in the bag. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here. I never used it. I don't use a stabilizer strap on most of my slings. I don't even use it when I ride my motorcycle. Do you guys use a stabilizer strap? Let me know. Overall, I'm gonna score the sling a 7 in terms of the strap. Once again, it's one of those situations where on paper, you look at the features, it checks the blocks, but once you get into the execution, it loses a little bit of that refinement. Because the padding's a little bulky, and also it only works when you wear it in the sling configuration, you lose that comfort once you move it over your shoulder. So that takes away a little bit. And the sling padding is a little bit wide. I don't know if they could slim that down a little bit to make it a little low profile. And like we talked about in the last section, to slim that weight down just a little bit. It does keep you covered as long as you wear it the right way. I love the cam buckle. That's probably one of my favorite features on this bag. It's low profile. It keeps removing the bag across your body, and it keeps the adjustment really low profile and all in the same place. It's got strap keeper, so that's a good thing as well. One thing that's a little odd to me, most slings, when they have their strap hooks, they're usually across the bag. This one, they're both on the same side at the top. And so when you want to switch the orientation, you just flip the strap over. So I wonder if because of that and it not going across and it's just at the top, I wonder if that is one of the reasons why it doesn't fit as close to the body as I think it should. There are some elastic loops on the other side. You could make that work if you wanted to, but I don't know how they'd hold up over time. So now let's talk about value. This guy comes in at 95 bucks for a CCW sling. I think it's even better when you catch it for 20% off, and that comes in at $76. Or when you catch it like I did for 30% off, and that's about 66 bucks. As far as the value goes, I'm gonna give it a 6. I feel like for the right person, this is a pretty good sling, and it could be almost perfect for them. I feel like if you want your EDC gear and your CCW, this might be the sling for you. But if that person isn't you, I think there's other slings on the market that may be a little better, and we're gonna take a look at those in the weeks and months to come. While you can use the CCW compartment for stuff other than your pew-pew, like I did most of the time, I did carry with it once just to test it out. but that's really not for me. I'm not really into off-body carry, not gonna debate on-body versus off-body carry. That's for other folks out there. There's other channels that debate that way better than I do, so I'm gonna leave that to them. So I feel like all the padding is basically designed to keep it as comfortable as possible in the CCW configuration. Because of that, there's a lot of bulk, and I think the bulk of the weight and the price, I think there's other features out there. Even if you think of all the adjustability and the storage and organization, it is interesting. But if you're not looking at a CCW sling, I don't know if this is a good value at retail price. On sale, sure, but on retail, probably not. So now let's run through the nice to haves real quick. It does have mesh padding, and that is very thick. It's probably thicker than the back padding on some backpacks. It's got a pretty thick top handle and 2 side grab handles as well. A water bottle fits inside if you want, depending on the size, and you can strap it to the bottom if you want to. It is optimized for CCW with a loop panel on the back, and it also includes a holster strap, so you can use your own holster in there. There's a loop panel in the CCW compartment and a MOLLE loop panel on the inside, but none of it's on the outside if you want to rock your REs or your patches on the outside. The branding is very low profile. I only saw 2 tags on the bag, one on the shoulder strap and the other's on the very front of the bag. And what's cool about that is you can actually tuck that in and hide it, so you won't even see that. Also, there's a 5.11 logo on the bottom of the zipper pulls. So now let's take a look at how I loaded this guy out. Hey, I hope you're liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, comment with any gear reviews you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to MF for Research. Any support helps grow my little small corner of the EDC community. Now back to the video. This part of the audio got messed up, so we'll do a voiceover. I have my iPad sitting right here because in the end we're going to show you how well it fits inside the bag. And the Roy & Fire Pico Fire pouch is just sitting here just to help us out. And we're going to have Barbatos help us out too. So the front is where I keep all my quick access stuff, starting with my phone, my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I've got these dry ski hanks, can't remember the exact name, but I have a 5-pack, talked about those a few times. And then my Gun Deck EDC Ranger wallet just goes in there as well. And that's about all that I put in there most of the time. In the top part, I just put some sunglasses when I remember to put them in there and take them out my car. And then I also put my AirPod Pros in there. This is just to show you that I didn't like putting my phone in the zipper spot up top. Now in the main compartment, what we're going to show you is just where the zippers, I really wish they go down further. In the front mesh compartment, I'd sometimes put my AirPods there as well, just depending on how I was feeling or what I had going on, but they kind of switch between each part. So in the main spot, I've got my Miu Mini. I've just got a field notes. I've got my U-Green power bank. I could probably go smaller, but that's what I've been using for this bag. And then I've got my Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus. There's a video on that. I'll link that in the description as well. And then I've been trying to carry more first aid, so there's just a little first aid kit that I put together. And that's really it that's in there. And then this is the laptop compartment. It's kind of short. So before we talk about how the iPad fits, let's go ahead into the CCW compartment and show you what it looks like. I've got my tactical water gun, of course, and then I've also got, this pouch came from CT Tactical, and I've just got a pen, extendable straw, a lighter, and then in the zipper compartment in there, I just have some wipes and things like that. So it works really well for those in that Velcro pouch, since I didn't really want to use it for CCW. But you can put your pew in there along with the magazine or something like that. You've got plenty of space for that if you want to. So I'll show you that the M2 iPad Pro, the 11-inch version, fits in here somewhat no problem, zipped up. You really can't use the zipper compartment. You just have to put it in the main part of the bag. But you notice that it bulges out a little bit at the top, but you can still zip it up, no problem. So now let's talk about what I liked. The loop face laser cut MOLLE, I really enjoyed that. I like the versatility of using some MOLLE pouches or some hook and loop pouches. It really added some versatility, and that was kind of fun. I did like that idea. The CCW accommodations, I really like that execution and that setup. The last sling that I reviewed that claimed to have CCW considerations, I didn't really think it did a good job. I prefer, if you're going to keep your pew in your bag, it needs to be separate from all your other EDC gear. That bag and other bags out there don't do that. I think this one does a great job of doing that. The fact that there's almost no branding is fantastic. When it's worn as a sling, the strap is very comfortable. At least here in the US, availability is no problem. Like I said before, shipping's $99. or it's free if you want to deliver to your store. And if one's close by you, you can just go pick it up like I did. Last, I like the fact that it can accommodate a water bottle with almost no effort. So I'm going to show you what I think needs to be improved on this guy. First off, the pocket on the front needs to be lowered. So it sits right here. I wish that it was maybe even right here some. The internal access, the entire time I was wishing the zippers would come down further. I would even take them all the way down to the compression straps on the front of the bag. If you had it that far, you really have a ton of access to the inside of this bag. Speaking of the compression straps, I would just get rid of those completely. A lot of folks on the internet are saying that they just cut those off. So that's something you might want to think about as well. I don't think they add a lot of compression, and you could just move them as one more strap to remove to make it a little more low profile, to make it a little more streamlined. So this guy can join me as I'm starting to get back in the gym, trying to lose a little weight. We can both slim down a little bit together. Drop some ounces off this guy and it might not be too bad of a sling. To weigh more than the larger version, that's a little bit of a concern. That might be a typo, but for right now, what they're saying is what I'm gonna go by, what I'm gonna rate it by. Overall, my score for this guy is 66.4. I'll show you the raw score on the screen just so you know how it's calculated. If you look at the features for this guy on paper, I think it's a real solid sling. I think, like I said before, even in my last 5.11 video, some of the execution, the fit and finish, the way things are done in 5.11 bags, it doesn't quite work out for me in the day-to-day use. If my primary concern is CCW, then this is a different bag. It might be a little higher up on the list for me, but I'm looking for something that's more versatile, can fit a multitude of capabilities, and I don't think this one is it. This one is really designed to me as a CCW sling. I think it does a great job at that. If you want that, this will work for you. The strap on this guy does hit all my points, so that is a plus for it, although there are some areas where I think they could fix that just a little bit to clean it up a little. I do like that you can pick this guy up anywhere, so that's something. If you want to get it, it goes on sale all the time, so be on the lookout for the sale on these guys. But ultimately, I think there are other slings if you're just looking for a regular EDC type sling. But it does score higher than 50, so that is a good thing to start. This is the first guy. We'll see how the next sling compares to it. So that's the first review in the Perfect Sling series of the LVC 8 by 5.11. Perfect CCW sling, not so perfect of a regular sling. We've got some more slings coming up. We've got another one coming up, and I think I'm gonna do them every other week. That way we can stretch them out a little bit. I can stagger and get some good review time in it. Congratulations, by the time this video comes out, the winners of the giveaway have been contacted and responded, and they should have their gifts by now. So congratulations to those guys. Be on the lookout in the future. That was kind of fun. So we might do another one in the future. So as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'm Lamar, this is MFN Research, and I'm out.